Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer. The feature race at Oaklawn Park on Saturday is the Down the Dusty Road Stakes. Let's take a look at this field. It is a full field of fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, bred in Arkansas. Morning line favorite is a horse dropping in class, but returning off a long layoff, Mike. It's the number 9, Bye Bye Jay, who was last seen running into Covfefe. It's safe to say there are no Covfefes in the Down the Dusty Road.
Yeah, she's going to like this competition a lot better. We'll see what we get off the layoff, because that's the real question.
She's also first time for trainer Steve Asmussen. She has shown a lot of speed early in her career, but she's also shown the ability to rate and finish, and that could prove valuable as we check out the Timeform US pace projector, a red bar pace, which expected to be fast, and the number 6 could make the front. That's Sakani. She's shown some good speed down towards the inside. Matapan has shown speed in 2-turn sprints at Delta Downs. The 7 Dixie Flyer also has shown 2-turn sprints in Louisiana. I think the pace will be solid.
Yeah, I do. I was expecting a fast pace in this race as well.
Let's take a look at Matapan, 20-1 on the morning line. This is a horse coming off a 2-month layoff. Again, has shown speed going 2 turns at Delta Downs, claimed for only $5,000, 3 starts back. But I thought that was a decent enough allowance she faced last time out. The runner-up came back to be stakes placed at Delta with a 73 and recently won a race at Sam Houston with a 77.
I mean, we'll see what happens. I thought her race 2-back was okay as well. I don't know, Dan. She's won 3 times, all in claiming races, going either 5 or 5.5. Now she's got the rail with a ton of speed to her outside. It feels like a tough spot.
This is the stakes debut for a very likable 8-year-old mare, the number 2, Blushing Bella, who is seeking her 11th lifetime victory, and she was claimed out of her last race by Robertino Diodoro. We'll watch that race right now. A field of Arkansas-bred $8,000 claimers. She's forging to the front 3 wide right now. She's going to get run down late. Perhaps the best thing she has going for her, Mike, is that she's been claimed by Diodoro, who's winning at almost 40% for the meet.
Yeah, I mean, that certainly is the thing that'll make you take a second look at her. Not that she isn't, okay. She's more of a cheaper kind of a horse, but I don't know. When you see Diodoro reach in and take one and then run her in a race like this, I think it makes you take a second look.
And here's a Diodoro formulator fact, a recent one at that over the past month. Horses aged 3 and up, first off the claim in dirt sprints. He's winning a third of the time with a $2.43 ROI. Up next is the number 3. That's Georgia's Reward, who was the beaten favorite in this race last year. But last year she ran in this race off of a layoff. This year she has a prep. She finished 4th behind a horse that came back to win an open $100,000 optional claimer with a 79 Buyer's speed figure. I think I like her a little bit more than you do.
I mean, I'm not way against her. It's certainly a horse that I want to use in this race. I guess we'll just see what kind of price she is, Dan. I respect the fact that she's relatively lightly raced, and I respect the fact that she can run from off the pace, because those are, I think, 2 really good things for her. If her last race was strictly a prep, then I totally get it. I didn't see her do a lot of running in that race.
That's the way I'm looking at it. She was basically last on the rail in the early portion of that race, tried to come out in mid-stretch, and she passed a few tired horses late. For her first start off the long layoff, I think it's something she can build on. Dutch Treat's another horse going second off the layoff. This one for trainer William Van Meter. Formulator fact here, but I wouldn't let this formulator fact dissuade you. Dutch Treat is 15-1 on the morning line. 4% winners, 68-cent ROI over the past 5 years, with horses going second off a 2 to 4 month layoff. Dutch Treat finished behind Georgia's Reward last time out. Is just going to have to need to improve here.
Yeah, I didn't see a lot of running out of her last time either, but she was off the layoff as well. Georgia's Reward has actually handled her a few times in the past, so we'll see what happens. I think at a big price, she's mildly interesting because she is a closing sprinter and actually could fit this race pretty well. Especially
with that Timeform US fast-paced designation. Proud Victoria has shown promise. She is a perfect 2 for 2, is the uncoupled stablemate of the number 3, Georgia's Reward. Let's watch her most recent win. First start against winners. Mike, take them home. I love the way she gets to the outside and wins this. Yeah, she was never really outrunning this race, but always off the pace. She's the 4 angling to the outside right now to get clear. She's still got work to do, Dan, as they're inside the 8th pole. But she's going to come with a game late surge and just get there on the wire. And this is almost a carbon copy of her debut win, Dan, where she was off the pace. It looked like in mid-stretch that she had too much to do, and she kicked it in late and she got there. I like both of those, that kind of a running style for this race. Obviously, she's got to improve again. But listen, She had no business winning either of those races. She looked absolutely beat at the 16th pole. If they ran second, the Connections would have been happy. She actually got up. She's a hard trier. She fits the race from a pace standpoint. Good connections, and one of the horses she beat in that last race did come back to win a starter allowance with a 60 buyer. Sakani is going to be part of this pace. Let's take a look at what happened for Van Meter. First off the layoff, first time against Arkansas breds. This gray just went right to the front, and from the 8th pole on, she improves her position.
Yeah, just opens up on this field in the final furlong. Got right to the front at the start of the race, was always holding. She had the whole field chasing her around the turn, but you could tell that she had too much horse for them, and then she settled it pretty quickly at the end. I thought she ran well, especially considering she was off of a long layoff there. And you know what? Her career debut wasn't bad at a big price.
In some ways, the 7 Dixie Flyer is the key to this race because she has the speed to keep the 6 Sakani honest. If Sakani gets to the front with no pressure, she could easily do what she did last time out against the maidens. Dixie Flyer might be the one to push the pace, and this barn usually gets them ready second off the layoff. Here's the formulator fact for Dixie Flyer. Past 3 years, horses age 3 and up, second off a 2 to 4 month layoff in dirt sprints, 36% winners, a giant ROI. Like her uncoupled stablemate, the horse down on the rail, there are some class concerns.
Yeah, some class concerns for sure, but I do like her cutting back in this race, especially with her speed. It's just going to all come down to how fast does she have to go early.
Superstar B is coming off a little bit of a layoff, and the last time we saw her, they tried to stretch her out around 2 turns at Hawthorne, and she just ran off in the early portion of the race. Long stretch at Hawthorne. She already had a big lead that has been squandered, and she's going to be very game, though, Mike, when she's passed in the stretch. She showed a lot of heart in this race. She's turning back in distance. I think the turn back is going to work for her.
Yeah, I agree with that. I understand why they took the shot to stretch her out, and she actually runs well in here. Just went too fast early, but she's not totally giving in here. You could tell she wasn't going to hold it, but she didn't just give it up. I like that about her. I like her cutting back in distance.
My one concern, lots of seconds and thirds on her resume. She'll often settle for a minor award, but that was a decent effort. We'll see what we get off the layoff for a very good trainer in Mac Robertson. Speaking of very good trainers, he's Asmussen with Bye Jay. You throw out the last race in the Miss Preakness. She beat Arkansas breds 2 starts back, coming from just off the pace. I'm assuming that's going to be the plan for Ricardo Santana Jr. here. Yeah. Let the 6 and 7 go. If Superstar B wants to show some speed, great, but I expect her to be sitting 3rd and 4th in the clear, and we'll just see if Asmussen has her tight off the bench.
That's the real question. I mean, she has fine tactical speed, so I don't think you worry about her necessarily getting the wrong trip in here. And obviously, just on the go back, she has plenty of races that are just going to make her really tough. What do you get off the layoff, and how short of a price do you want to take on her?
All About Clara finished 3rd in the Rainbow Miss Stakes behind Bye Jay at a huge price in 2019. She's been exposed in stakes competition the next 2 times she tried it, although once was on the turf and once was in an open 100 grander at Delta Downs going a mile. She's one of those late-running fillies that if the pace is just explosive up front, she can come at a price and maybe make your tries or supers.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I realize that she fits the race well from that perspective. And I know that it was a wet track last time, and maybe that's an excuse for her. I just haven't really seen her doing any significant running. She got 4th 2 starts back behind Proud Victoria, but she wasn't really finishing at all in that race. She just sort of sucked up for 4th.
Here's All About Clara's last race, where she ran 3rd over Muddy Going in an allowance race at Oaklawn Park. And again, this is what she is right now. She's going to come from out of it. She's going to rally with a run. She is all about pace. She's going to need some pace. She's splitting horses right here in the orange, and she's going to eventually finish 3rd. That's All About Clara getting back up into the stakes competition. A little disappointed she didn't hold for 2nd, Mike.
Yeah, I was too. But that's sort of been her in her last couple of races. She just doesn't finish that hard.
Tiger Bait's mildly interesting for me because this is a filly that showed a lot of promise earlier in her career for a trainer that wins a lot of races. She was actually 4-1 against Bye Jay in that Rainbow Miss Stakes. She ran very well to be 2nd. Then she disappeared. And that last race off a long layoff, she caught a wet track. She didn't have to be sharp against open company. I expect her to be a lot tighter here, and maybe she'll show some tactical speed from the outside.
Yeah, I sort of agree with all that. I took a long look at this horse because I'm just not willing to really hold that last race against her that much. A sealed track off the layoff. You know, she didn't run, but that's okay. Maybe she'll do better 2nd off the lay. She's got a tough post here.
top pick for the Down the Dusty Road Stakes. It's race number 9 at Oaklawn on Saturday. Mike, you like how Proud Victoria's kicked on in the stretch in her first 2 races, and why not? We saw she just showed a lot of determination, and there's some ability here.
That's what I thought. I realize that she has to improve in this race, but I thought she'd be an okay price. And listen, there's some hard-hitting older horses in here, just nobody that I'm in love with, Dan. I think this horse actually fits the race well if she can take a small step forward.
George's Reward's been in against some pretty good horses in her career, open company foes like Special Relativity and that What a Fox last time out. I think the pace is going to be to her liking, and I think she needed it last time. They tried her off the layoff in this race last year. She was a little short. Now she has the prep. I think she comes running. 5-2-3-6 for Mike, 3-6-9-2 for me. It's the Down the Dusty Road Stakes, your feature race at Oaklawn, as an approximate post of 5:09 Central. Good luck.